Hey, 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 beautiful people. It's your girl, Sabrina Smith. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Pastor Sabrina Speaks. Listen, in this episode, we are going to tackle the questions that were posed by Shannon Tabor. And I hope I say something to encourage you through these questions tonight, because I surely know that I am going to be blessed again. Listen, Shannon asked me, how can I pray the scriptures? Baby, I'm going to tell you in the simplest form that I can. The only way that you can pray the scriptures is you got to know it. You got to get in the Bible. You got to know the Word of God. This is how you find out who He is. This is how you know what His promises are that you can look forward to. In order for it to work for you, in order for you to be able to work this thing, you got to know what it says. And so I encourage you to do that. To get into your word and to study, so you'll know how to pray and what to say when you pray. And you also asked about writing it down. Is it okay for you to write down what you want to say to God? Absolutely. A lot of people journal. A lot of people just write down. I use my phone a lot. So there's no right or wrong way to do it, but I would encourage you to, at some point, when you write it down, to open your mouth and speak that thing from your heart, to speak it from your spirit. Put it in the atmosphere. I honestly believe, Shannon, that you're one of those types of girls, and there are a lot of other ladies that are watching this, that you're that type of girl that your words are powerful. You've been hiding behind the paper, and God is saying, I'm going to use Sabrina Smith Speaks to tell you that it's time for you to come up off the paper, and it's time for you to open your mouth and utilize your voice. Whenever you speak and you can make that declaration and that petition out loud, baby, you will shut down hell. If all of us tag team, and if all of us got off the paper and all of us came from behind that place of comfort and really utilize our voice, especially in our prayer life, we can sure enough do some things to the kingdom of darkness. I don't care what you say. So that's just one thing. I just would encourage you to, it's your prayer. Go stand in the mirror and just quote it. Even if you close your eyes and just read it and just go to God and go for what you know and give Him from your heart. And that was one of the other questions that you asked. How do I know that I'm praying with a pure heart? Let me tell you this. When you pray with a pure heart, you're going to know it. A pure heart just means that it's sincere, that it's honest, that it's free from evil and contamination. When the Lord downloaded this into my mind, it just knocked me out. He says, you know it's real and pure, your heart, when you pray, when you feel that thing from a place deeper than what you're going through. Woo! When you can feel it deeper than what you're going through. When you praying and you tap into that sweet spot, and it's not about what you're dealing with. It's not about who's coming against you. It's not about what you lost. It's not about what people are saying to you or saying about you. Honey, you know it's coming from a pure place when it goes deeper than what you're going through. When it goes come here, little girl. When it goes deeper than your problems and your circumstances, when you're praying and you're fervently praying, like Lakila asked the other night, when you're fervently praying and you can feel that conversation with God, that it's not about what I'm going through, Lord. It's simply about me, and it's simply about you and my relationship with you. Let me tell you, you ain't got to have no certain time for when you pray. You don't have to have a certain hour when you pray, because if your schedule is like mine, you busy. You got jobs, you got kids, you got a spouse, you got different assignments. So you don't have a particular time that you can pray, and you just got to go to God whenever you can go to God. Whenever things are happening, whenever things are great, whenever you get a minute, you can be in the car, you can be in the bathroom, you can be in the living room, in the kitchen. It doesn't matter. Wherever you can go to God in prayer, You just got to go. Remember, we cannot afford for our prayer life to become traditionalized. The Word of God says that tradition has made the Word of God of none effect. So when your prayer and your conversation with God turns into a tradition, you're causing your prayer to lose its effectiveness. Oh, I don't know about you, but I cannot afford for my prayer life to lose its effectiveness because I want to do it at a certain time, at a certain place, around a certain group of people or not. Baby, you just got to go for what you know. It takes me back to 2 Kings chapter number 20, and I got to get out of Dodge, but it takes me back to 2 Kings chapter 20. The prophet came to King Hezekiah, and it says, if you don't get your house in order, you're going to surely die. And before the prophet could get out of the court, King Hezekiah turned his face to the wall. Woo! Help me, Jesus. He turned his face to the wall. It may not have been the right timing. He may should have waited. It might have not have been the hour that he prayed yesterday, but he needed to go to God in prayer right then. So without hesitation, he turned his face to the wall. And this is when I said, you just got to know the word, because King Hezekiah looked at the wall and he said, Lord, I need for you to remember how faithfully I've served. I need for you to remember how wholeheartedly my devotion was to you. And he cried out, and the Bible said that he wept. He wept from a place of purity. He wept from a place of sincerity. He said, God, I'm going to remind you of what you said in your word, that if I live for you and I do right, you'll open up your ears and incline your ears to my request. And the Bible said that the prophet had to stop in his tracks. Woo! Oh my God. And turn back around and said, the Lord has heard you. Woo! Let me talk to somebody. Woo! Let me talk to somebody. I don't care how bad it is. I don't care how it looks. You just got to know that God is going to hear you when you go to him in a pure heart, when it's not about tradition, when it's not about who's watching, it's not about your position, it's about your relationship with him. And he says, if you can come to me in prayer, you can ask whatever you will. And when the prophet got back, he said, you know what? I heard your cry.